So I just got back from San Salvador, which is the capital of the country of El Salvador, where I'm doing an interesting partnership with the Red Cross in El Salvador. The American Red Cross has a division of international services, and they do a lot of different things. One of the things they do is prioritize services in 10 countries. One of those countries is El Salvador. It was really interesting as part of my work, really to sort of try to get to learn as much as possible. And before I get into talking about what I was doing, I just mentioned there's really impressive, well-run society with 3 target areas. One being in what's referred to as saneamiento, but it's sort of water, sewage, drainage, really attempting to make sure that communities, particularly more rural communities, have good hygiene conditions to live in. The second area is the disaster response and recovery work. That's a little bit different in El Salvador. They do about 1/3 of the ambulance visits to the hospitals are done in Red Cross ambulances. So they have a program called Socorrismo, which is, I guess you would say, socorro means help. So emergency response is Socorrismo. That includes those ambulance runs. It would also include their work in biomedical services or blood collection. They collect a big part of the nation's blood supply in El Salvador. And then the sort of stuff that we're more familiar with at the American Red Cross in terms of disaster services. So my work, as I begin to learn more about the organization there, and this was just visit number 1, was to kind of identify priorities for them, and now to come back and figure out how can I leverage the talent here in Los Angeles, as well as through our region, perhaps other parts of our national network, to support capacity building in these areas for the Salvadoran Red Cross. It's kind of like, back when I was in government, we would call this like a sister city relationship, right? In this case, it's a little more focused because we're all Red Cross. I was really impressed with a program that they had that was part of an American Red Cross International Services program called RITA. That program had remarkable similarities to the program we do here in LA called Prepare LA. Prepare LA, we identify vulnerable communities and we engage community coalitions to advance resilience building efforts in those communities. RITA does the same thing. There's a lot I think we can learn in terms of how they identified community vulnerability, how they identified communities to do the investments in, and then what the projects were that they did. All of it was around building more resilient communities in ways that really resonate here in LA, and I think we're going to learn a lot from too.